The Apocalypse Joust main event is a vicious vehicular battle. It's mighty tense. And there's a feeling in the air, sorta hanging over everything. And I'm not talking about the usual toxic waste fumes either. Feels like something heavy is coming. So we better get to jousting.
After what happened to the track last time, I think I have an idea what Sam might be talking about. Hopefully these 10 teams and 50 cars won't destroy any more of the track, but I bet something will get destroyed. It's inevitable. Let's have a closer look at these teams. Ranked 17th out of 20, it is the Convoy. Ranked 20th, Cookies Crumblers. Ranked 3rd, Don't Forget to Smile. Ranked 13th, the A-Team's Goon Squad. Jester and Smiler's Institution, ranked 19th. Ranked 18th, Fractal Panda. Ranked number 2, the Pyromaniacs. Ranked number 1, the Scrap Iron Scarecrows. Ranked 4th, the Spotted Otter Speedsters. And ranked number 8, Williams War Dogs. Let's joust. Starting us off will be the Spotted Otter Speedsters with Behemoth 190 grams, sponsored by Farty Marty. Bam! Right into position. We've got a ramp set up. If this is anything like last match, the ramps are going to try to take each other out. Next up for the Goon Squad, the Mad Goose, sponsored by Sicken. This tank had some pieces fall off in the previous match. This time it smashes into the stop sign but holds together and flips over very nicely. Now Behemoth will be tested by the Scrap Iron Scarecrows, a team that had 0 eliminations in their qualifier. First up for them is Supply Run, 200 grams, sponsored by the Test Joust series. And it does the trick, prevents that ramp, pushes Behemoth up the wall. What is even going on? Forcing that bus to climb vertically. Wow, an unstable position for Behemoth. Coming down now, it's gonna be Jacob for Cookies Crumblers, sponsored by Sinora. Jacob flips and flies and throws itself through the air, hits the wall and is in, I think, an upright position, hits a 7 on the way over, and then appears to land it. I believe, we'll see its final resting position here. Yes, that is gonna be below 90 degrees. I think it's good to go. Devastation Wagon, sponsored by the Test Joust series, driven by Daniel for Williams War Dogs. It's the back of Supply Run and the bus starts to come down. Devastation Wagon is poised to take off. Next hit provided by Old Growth Hauler, 174 grams, sponsored by Evil Twin for the Convoy. Boom, there it is. Not that devastating of a hit on the Devastation Wagon, and it manages to flip around and survive. The bus continues to slide back, fighting against Supply Run. Orange Flash for Fractal Panda, sponsored by Emo Dingo. Orange Flash ramps off of the Old Growth Hauler, hits that big chunk of wood in the front, flips over and all over the place, and makes a recovery. What a great recovery there for Panda. Beast from the Red Pond, 194 grams, sponsored by Evil Twin. Don't forget to smile. Beast from the Red Pond looks like it could get underneath that ramp, but it doesn't. And a tragic failure leads to an elimination. Beast from the Red Pond is out, and that is going to be our first elimination in this match. Pyromaniac sending down Firestorm, sponsored by Scrapyard Joust Body Parts and Service. That ramp is firmly in place. Firestorm hits that piece of wood, pops up, takes a weird bounce, and gets lodged in a spot where it cannot recover. It slides into that position, and it looks like we got another elimination because of that devastating ramp on Old Growth Hauler. Bushman will try it next for Jester and Smiler's Institution, sponsored by King Jester. Bushman has a better result. Wow, what a leap into the sky, just catapulting all the way down to the end of the track. Hits an 8 on the way there, and then lands that recovery flawlessly. Absolutely incredible. Killer Cupcake, sponsored by K&E Stewart Agri-Services. Killer Cupcake can't get underneath that ramp. Kind of looked like maybe it could have just in the middle there, but it didn't, and now it is over and out. Let's see if the 161 gram No More Mr. Nice Guy can get underneath that ramp, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. It can and does. Pops it up in the air, pushes it away, and the ramp is neutralized. A nice hit from No More Mr. Nice Guy. Nova Blast, 140 grams, sponsored by Sloss Automotive Sachet and Buffet. Nova Blast tries to pound the hammer in deeper, but struggles even with all that weight. Old Growth Hauler is resisting effectively. Draftnator, sponsored by Billy. Draftnator slots in, and that is a light vehicle. I bet it won't stay slotted in for long, but we are backing up now. Finless, sponsored by the Mad Brit King, driven by Thea. Finless manages to get underneath Draftnator, take it out. Cookies Crumblers will lose one. A nice takedown there by Finless. And now Finless might have a bit of a ramp going. Attack Drone, sponsored by Sicken. Attack Drone likes a ramp and takes it, goes pretty far down, smashes into that wood block, and I think survives. That looks like a pretty decent recovery if it stays like that. Hammerhead, sponsored by the Aardvark of Freedom. Hammerhead ramps off Finless, does not survive, hits dead on that piece of wood, rolls over to Oblivion, and I didn't see what happened to Attack Drone. It looks like Attack Drone was fine. That big wood obstacle providing some trouble for some of these vehicles. Duck Truck, sponsored by King Jester. Duck Truck with a massive plunge off of Finless's ramp and goes all the way down to the wall. I can't even see what happened. Camera not even able to follow that very speedy tumble into the wall. And ooh, that is a rough place to land, wedged up against the wall. Blaze now, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. Blaze pops up, hits that wood, bounces, and does it survive? Bounce, bounce, and no, it does not. Ends up sideways and finished off. A loss for the Maniacs. The Hitman, sponsored by Coffee Run. The Hitman tries to take down Finless, cannot do it, skids along a couple of cars, stops and goes over. Looks like it's okay for now. Black Destroyer, sponsored by Star Corps Industries. Black Destroyer also skids along the cars, gets a little farther. It's like skipping a stone or something, and it does a great job and survives. 5-4 Fighting, 138 grams, sponsored by Emo Dingo. 5-4 Fighting prevents the Finless, slots in, and now we are backing up the track. Are we gonna get to the bridge again? I hope not. Cookie did warn them not to do that. Fission, sponsored by Tribbles Troublemakers. Fission scoops right under 5-4 Fighting, takes it out, throws it off the track, and starts to go after Finless. This car has been deadly for the Scarecrows. Dune Surfer, sponsored by River Hansen. Dune Surfer pushes into the pile, and Finless is going up and over. This does not look promising. The next hit could determine its fate. Next hit will be Turtosaur, sponsored by Reaper EOD and driven by Carolyn and Rachel. The jumble is increased. Finless somehow manages to hold on. We'll see how long that lasts. Good job by Turtosaur getting out of there and escaping. And now we have a random event sponsored by Star Corps Industries. What will it be? It's a zombie attack. The zombies are coming. One by one, they make their way to the track. They are joining an already big jumble and making it bigger. Plowing into the jumble will be the Desert Master, sponsored by Moo Cow Horse Farm. Desert Master slams into the pile, and the jumble breaks, and so do the zombies. They go flying all over the place. It's bad news for Williams War Dogs. Finless has gone over. Dune Surfer looks to be in trouble as well. We're just over halfway through round one. Red Rocket, sponsored by Judy Collins. Red Rocket takes a shot at Desert Master, but it proves the master, flipping over and making the recovery happen for Convoy. Zombies are still causing trouble here. Twisted Perception, sponsored by the Aardvark of Freedom. Twisted Perception locks in. Dune Surfer appears to be, I wouldn't say it's totally recovered yet. Kerosene for the Pyromaniac, sponsored by DYW Production Labs. Kerosene locks it in. We are now back to the bridge. I have a feeling, though, the next car should help the situation. It is La Melted Creature, sponsored by Tribbles Troublemakers for the Institution. 199 grams, packs a punch, and has a little ramp on the back. The line breaks. Twisted Perception survives it. Red Rocket does not. Looks like Panda is going to lose one. Next down, Blue Screw, sponsored by Chris and Kat's Casa de Chaos for the Speedsters. Blue screw doesn't quite ramp, does a little bounce, and then sits there, but it is gonna ramp, whether it likes it or not. Not Sorry A, 199 grams, sponsored by Judy Collins. This thing is gigantic and heavy, and it flips right over the melted creature and takes itself down. A tough time to have to go down the track. On its way down, it takes out the Hitman and resurrects Draftnator. Blue Screw, however, a great job of surviving. Nitro Fuel, sponsored by Emo Dingo. Nitro Fuel ramps and it recovers. Couple barrel rolls and no problem landing it and finding a spot. Plunger, sponsored by Durian Motorsports. Plunger with a light ramp off. It drives into the Twisted Perception vehicle, and I think it survived. Looks below 45 to me. Power Outage, sponsored by William Aronson of the Joust Network, driven by William. Power Outage leaps. It tries to find a spot to land. It can't do it. It gets stuck next to the track, turns sideways, and that's going to be a tough loss for the War Dogs. Kaboom for the convoy, sponsored by Stump's Tree Farm. Kaboom leaps into the air, lands out in an open area, then bounces back towards the track and gets stuck. It had all that free area to land in, took a bad bounce though, and now it's done. Flying Brick, sponsored by K&E Stewart Agri-Services. Flying Brick ramps off, goes into the same place that Kaboom did, and what an arcing jump. Lands in that pile, doesn't help any of them, and takes itself out too. Another loss for Fractal. Warrior, sponsored by Avery's Reliable Autos. Warrior ramps off and drives over all the other cars to a free area where it can make a safe recovery over by the Biscuit Box ice cream cart. I doubt there's any ice cream left in that thing. Phoenix, sponsored by Chorgoth the Infinite Horror. Phoenix manages to lock in low enough to not take that ramp, and we are backed up to the bridge again. Crash and Burn coming down next, sponsored by Sloss Automotive Sachet and Buffet. Crash and Burn causing Phoenix to crash and burn. Knocks it off the track, knocks it over. I think Phoenix recovered. Looks like it landed. Big pile of rocks there, and it kind of cushions that fall. Green Machine, sponsored by Judy Collins. Green Machine smashes Crash and Burn, pushes it down the track a ways. It does not ramp. Crash and Burn recovers, more or less. It's in an awkward position, but it looks good. Puck Around and Find Out, sponsored by William Aronson of the Joust Network. Puck Around flips and flops and goes right off the track. Green Machine survives the hit, but Puck Around does not. It pushes into the rocky area, goes upside down and out. Here comes Channel 6, sponsored by William Aronson. Channel 6 slots in nicely. It is not going to take that ramp. It refuses to. If it did, it'd probably be bad. We'll see if it can stay there. And now we are up to the bridge. 8 cars left to come down. Party Crasher 2.0, sponsored by Durian Motorsports. Party Crasher locks in, and yep, we are in the bridge area. This is a bad place to be. There was damage last time. There's still more bridge to damage. Let's hope it doesn't happen. The Monster, sponsored by Sanddragon Workshop, driven by Aviva. A 6-gram pop, of course, that's not going to cause any problems. That thing's going to go flying now, I expect. Oh, yes, it is going flying. Hellride, 200 grams, the longest vehicle, I think, in the competition, sponsored by Sicken. Boom! There it goes. Wow, actually not as big of a hit as I expected. Channel 6 blocks most of the effect. The Monster and Party Crasher both survived that potentially devastating hit. The Grr, sponsored by Lang's the Cat Lover. The Grr, I don't know what happened. Something, but couldn't see it. It's too far up the bridge to actually be captured. Oh, there we go. We do have the one hill camera. And yep, the Grr is fine, although it's curbside. Laughing Gas, sponsored by Emo Dingo. I was just having some laughing watching what is happening here on this bridge. The Grr slides off the track now, and there is a big hole in the bridge right there. That is not a good place to be. Flamethrower, sponsored by Coffee Run. Flamethrower slams into the line. I don't exactly know what happened. It looks like the Grr is falling. The Grr is actually falling into the hole in the bridge. This is reminding me of that scene from Superman when Lois Lane's car falls into a big hole in the ground. There it is, poking through the other side of the bridge, stuck. Duck and Cover, sponsored by Beaks Busted Barn Finds. Duck and cover, pushes into the line. Flamethrower goes over, gets stuck, is upside down on the bridge. The Gur sinks farther into that hole, and Superman is not coming. What a mess up there on the bridge. That is the end of round 1, and it was about as insane as we expected. Look at the wreckage everywhere on the track. 17 eliminations in round 1, and we gotta take a couple measurements. Jacob is good to go at 72 degrees. Firestorm is just out at 48 degrees for the Pyromaniacs. There are all of the eliminations. Taking a look at the aftermath. The Scrap Iron Scarecrows still have not lost a vehicle. The Pyromaniacs dropped from 5 down to 2. Don't forget to Smile and Williams War Dogs each lost 2. They are down to 3. Spotted Outer Speedsters looking good, only lost 1. Absolute disaster for Fractal Panda here, down to just 1 vehicle. The Goon Squad falls 3 down to 2. The Convoy, Jester and Smiler's Institution, and Cookies Crumblers all only lost 1 and are at 4, looking pretty good. We're gonna dive right into round 2, starting off with the random event, sponsored by Chorgoth the Infinite Horror. It is the Rat. The giant rat has replaced the track buffer. Channel 6 will start us off. Scrap Iron Scarecrows with a perfect round 1. No eliminations. This is going to be a tough team to take down. Old Growth down next, sliding into position, setting up that ramp. Can that ramp be taken down this time? Not by the blue screw, but the blue screw bounces to a great recovery. Doesn't mind that ramp. Speaking of liking that ramp, Jacob also likes it. Throws itself into the crates and makes the recovery. And here comes the Bushman. Same deal for the Bushman. Struggled a little bit on the rat, but then managed to make it happen. Look at how many times that thing flipped. Don't forget to Smile sends Warrior down. It smashes into that wood block and flips right over. A success. Turtosaur hits the ramp and bounces back. I don't know what about Turtosaur would have made it stick right there, but it does not ramp even though it likes a ramp. But a little nudge from Kerosene helps it take off and land on the flatbed. Kerosene then is launched into the air. Mad Goose with a nice takedown, and then Mad Goose sits on the flatbed and relaxes. Pyromaniacs fall to 1. Orange Flash is next up. Look at the speed on that car. It slams into the crates. It does not recover. And we've just lost our first team. Fractal Panda is down and out. The Mad Goose survived that last hit, but the one by Fission, which upsets the ramp, bobbles it along the edge, and it's sideways. Attack Drone slams Fission, and now it is up on the ramp. It's going over, and a massive hit by Behemoth. Finally, Scrap Iron Scarecrows lose a vehicle, at least for the moment. Attack Drone survives it. I was beginning to wonder if the Scarecrows would lose anyone. Behemoth can take credit for that hit, as Draftinator takes flight all the way down to the crates and survives it. Ducking cover next down, smashes into Old Growth Hauler, spins through the air and lands it. Impressive recovery there. Twisted Perception next off Behemoth. Slams into the Mad Goose and helps it make a recovery, but does not recover itself. Stuck in a sideways position currently. Devastation Wagon launches next, flies all the way down to the crates, finds a beautiful open area to make a recovery. Phoenix down next for the Pyros, and does it survive? Yes, it bounces right next to Devastation Wagon. Almost looks like it's going to get caught up on the track. Finds a spot, makes it happen for the team. No more Mr. Nice Guy, cannot get underneath Behemoth. Kind of parks on top of the ramp. Whoa, a lot going on here after that hit from Supply Run. Twisted Perception with a recovery. Old Growth is getting pushed up farther and farther, but no eliminations and a recovery on that hit. Desert Master slaps Supply Run in the backside and goes curbside. Black Destroyer with a takedown attempt and then escapes to safety. Desert Master, though, handles it no problem. Great recovery. Party Crasher 2.0 bounces back, manages to stay locked in. And La Melted Creature with a smash to the back of Party Crasher. It looks like a lot of paint came off. The vehicle held together. Laughing Gas boinks off La Melted Creature and goes over. That's going to be a loss for Don't Forget to Smile. Monster does the exact same thing. Flips around, goes upside down, a loss for the War Dogs. Party Crasher 2.0 gets squeezed out and then decides it doesn't want to go on the ground. It's going to hang out up here on top of Supply Run. Hellride slams hard. Nova Blast and Lamelted Creature. There is a real train going. It looks like Nova Blast may have welded itself to Hellride. Part of it's almost coming off. Party Crasher escaped. Green Machine 2.0 locks in. We're going back up the bridge yet again. Plunder with the takedown attempt on Green Machine. I don't think it worked. Nope, it recovered, landed on the rocks. And now we got that bridge shot. Crash and Burn knocks Plunder into the rocks. It survives. No elimination there. Nitro Fuel down next. Bounces off Crash and Burn. Goes off over by Green Machine. And did Scrap Iron Scarecrows just lose another vehicle? That was the final car of the round. It's not going to have a chance to recover, and that's 2 losses for the Scarecrows. They will come out of round 2 with the most eliminations. There were 6 total. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Scrap Iron Scarecrows fall from 5 to 3. Spotted Otter Speedsters are now ahead of them. They have 4 remaining. No losses in that round. Pyromaniacs are in trouble, down to 1. Williams War Dogs falls from 3 to 2. And the same deal for Don't Forget to Smile. Fractal Panda lost 1. They are out of the match. Once we get down to just 5 teams, the match will be over. 4 remaining for the Convoy, the Institution, and the Crumblers. Goon Squad steady at 2. A lot of cars survived round 2. It was a good round for most of the teams. Jacob up first for the Crumblers. Slams into the track buffer and escapes. You gotta love it. If your car can do that, you're in good shape. And the Convoy send down Old Growth Hauler to set up that ramp yet again. And here's Bushman to take that ramp yet again, slams into the crates, and does another recovery. No problem surviving that ramp so far. Blue Screw has also had good luck with ramps in this match and does a great job just getting out of the way right there. Bushman slides down to safety. And here comes Supply Run for the Scarecrows to deny that ramp. It nicely unslots that ramp and neutralizes it. Turtosaur with the bounce back off of Supply Run. It stays locked in. And now it is random event time, sponsored by Frank's Fork Factory, now with free Frank Fridays. Frank's Fork Factory bringing us this Winnebago Rampage. Boom! Turtosaur is annihilated by that hit. The Rampage has taken a victim. Turtosaur is out, and the War Dogs are in trouble now, down to just 1. The Mad Goose slaps Winnebago forward just a tiny little bit and slots in, followed up by Warrior, who tussles with Mad Goose a little bit before slotting in. Then coming down next is Phoenix. Poises Warrior to take off on the next hit. A massive shower of paint flakes off both of those white vehicles. Draftnator, mostly, I think. So much paint coming off. No eliminations on that hit. 2 escapes. And they got out of there just in time. Hellride is here. Mad Goose barrel rolls to a recovery. Winnebago barrel rolls to a recovery. That's unexpected. And Draftnator also recovers. No eliminations on that massive hit. Lamelted Creature wrestles with a couple of the cars on Hellride, but cannot get up to the front to do any damage. All these cars proving an effective deterrent. Old Growth Hauler is bending and flexing. Behemoth down next. It cannot get under Lamelted Creature. It is tipping. This is bad. Nova Blast strikes, and the Behemoth is tipped over, eliminated. Spotted Otter Speedsters will lose their big ramp. Devastation Wagon slots in. It has to stay alive. No more Mr. Nice Guy with the takedown attempt on Devastation Wagon. It goes sideways. It cannot flip over. Not enough motion to keep going. Williams War Dogs might be out here. And here we are in round 3, backing up the track yet again. Unbelievable. So many cars slotting in as per usual. This has been a hard-fought match so far. And now Attack Drone has been taken down by Duck and Cover. Jester and Smiler's Institution taking out a car that has not been eliminated. It lands in a pool of toxic waste. But then the Institution pay the price as Black Destroyer destroys their vehicle. And it looks like Party Crasher 2.0 landed badly in those rocks as well. That's definitely looking out. Channel 6 slots in very slowly, and Twisted Perception slides off to safety. Plunder slots in next, followed up by Desert Master. 2 more cars left in the round. Crash and Burn pushes into Desert Master. It's about to go over, and does. Green Machine pushes it off, but it made a recovery under the bridge. Nice recovery for Desert Master there. Convoy likes that. 6 more eliminations in round 3. We are down to 20 cars out of 50. There are your 6 eliminations. We're going to lose another team. Williams War Dogs held on as best they could, a little bad luck, and they are down. We've lost our 8th ranked team. Spotted Otter Speedsters fall from 4 to 3, tied with Scrap Iron Scarecrows. Smile still at 2, and Pyromaniacs still at 1. Over here, the Goon Squad are steady at 2. All the other teams lost 1 each. They're all going to be down to 3. That means we have a 5-way tie for first as we head into round 4. 3 more teams need to get eliminated before this match is done. Starting us off, round 4, Green Machine for the Spotted Otter Speedster, speeding down into position. And it's already time for the random event, Cookie's Whims. She's decided to send down Angelic Hammer, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. The hammer is deadly, and Green Machine is flipped over, taken out by that massive vehicle. The random event causes a casualty. Spotted Otter Speedsters are down 1. Jacob flies down next for the Crumblers, knocking Angelic Hammer aside and stays on the track this time. Convoy gets their ramp in position. Jacob gets knocked around a little bit, but stays basically alive. Scrap Iron Scarecrow's not interested in that ramp, and they neutralize it immediately, gripping on to it. Jacob stays alive. That ramp neutralized by the little implement underneath Supply Run. And now the back end of Supply Run has somehow messed up Lamelted Creature. It goes over easy and self-eliminates. A loss for the institution. Mad Goose comes down next, takes that ramp, and does a great job of recovering. And at the last second, Jacob decides to get out of there and get to safety, rolling over for a recovery. Next up, Warrior with a double barrel roll to a recovery. Keep and don't forget to smile going, no problem. That vehicle showing some agility it didn't show off before. Phoenix for the Pyromaniacs. It goes over, it lands, it has a nice even spot to flip over in, but it doesn't flip over, thus dooming the Pyromaniacs. They are out unless that thing finds a way back up again. That would take us down to 7 teams as some vehicles slot in. Desert Master takes a shot at Draftnator, and ooh, Draftnator cannot recover either. A lot of vehicles struggling in this round for some reason with that open field. Blue Screw stays level, but is definitely in danger here. And it will get tossed to safety by that hit from Bushman, who bounces off Channel 6 and then comes back to slot in. No more Mr. Nice Guy with the undercut, and Bushman cannot handle the heat, flipping over, going sideways, not recovering. Another elimination. That means 2 losses for the institution in this round. They are down to just 1, and that car has yet to come down. Could we lose yet another team in this round, round 4? Somehow we're backing up again, almost to the bridge in round 4. But then Hellride saves the day with a massive undercut. 3 vehicles thrown over, and guess what? Triple survive. Yep, the opposite of a triple takedown. All 3 cars survive what could have been a devastating hit. Crash and Burn will be the final car of the round. It manages to stay locked in and save Jester and Smiler's institution from complete elimination. 5 more eliminations in this round. That'll take us down to 15 cars, and we are definitely losing 1 team. Taking a look at the aftermath, Pyromaniacs, our ranked number 2 team, have fallen. Number 2 and number 8 are done. Don't forget to smile, steady at 2. Spotted Outer Speedsters fall from 3 to 2. The Goon Squad still steady at 2. Convoy steady at 3. Fractal Panda still out. The Institution falls from 3 to 1, the biggest movers in that round. And Cookies Crumblers fall from 3 to 2. The random event will start us off in round 5. It is an acid spill. That track buffer is beat up. It's got a lot of leaks in it. Looks like it's dumped something on the track accidentally. Channel 6 is going to have to deal with that. And it kind of does. It just kind of runs into it and locks down. A big immovable block in the track. How's that going to play? Old Growth scoots it forward, but then gets stuck itself and goes curbside. So that acid spill actually doing something this time. I think the ramp might still be effective. Jacob catapults off the ramp, flips over, and finds out that, yeah, that ramp is effective. It landed on the track, and then Jacob flips over upside down. An unfortunate elimination for the Crumblers. The Mad Goose has much better luck, smacks into Jacob, almost helps him recover, but not quite, and makes a nice recovery itself. Blue Screw also has good luck with that ramp, flapping off and landing it, no problem. And here comes Warrior for Don't Forget to Smile. A very odd bounce off the cab of Old Growth and a nice tumble over to a recovery, keeping Don't Forget to Smile in the match. Crash and Burn does not crash and burn, lands right on the flatbed, pretty good position it looks like, until Supply Run comes in, smashes that ramp forward. Crash and Burn flips over on the flatbed, out. We may have just lost the institution. Plunger gets underneath Desert Master, loses one of its few remaining prongs, and Desert Master is taken down. That is going to be a loss for the convoy. No More Mr. Nice Guy takes a shot at Plunger, but Plunger handles it, spinning around to a recovery, keeping the Crumblers in the match. Black Destroyer with a little bounce back, but locks it in. Twisted Perception follows with a lock in. And then Nova Blast blasts both vehicles, plows them off the track, and I think, yep, they both recovered. And then Hellride returns the favor. Nova Blast thrown off the track, a chunk coming off of it. Hellride is a deadly tool. It has been savage in every match it's in, but Nova Blast survives even though it lost a chunk. And that will do it for round 5. We're going to have 3 eliminations. We're going to lose another team. Let's take a look at the aftermath and see what happened. The first, third, and fourth rated teams are still in the match, and they are steady. The 19th rated team, Jester and Smiler's Institution, has been taken out. Cookies Crumblers fell to 1, and the Convoy fell to 2. Goon Squad still steady at 2 and has been for quite a few rounds now. There are 6 teams remaining. One more team gets eliminated. This is all over. Channel 6 is in position. That's basically like having a wall in the middle of the track. And yet again, the random event happening early on. This time it is an earthquake. Pretty ineffective tremors at this point. Channel 6 is not going to be moving, so I don't think anything's going to happen. Twisted Perception zooms into Channel 6, bounces back just a bit, locks it in nicely. Blue Screw kind of bounces off of it and tries to escape the track. Couldn't quite get out of there, but it doesn't end up being an issue as Mad Goose storms into the fray. Hellride comes down, though, and throws Mad Goose over. Mad Goose makes a recovery over by the wall. Hellride going after Twisted Perception. Blue Screw escaped. Plunger lines up. And then Nova Blast uses Plunger as an undercutter and gets under 3 of the Hellride cars, but does not affect that vehicle, cannot push it off. Plunger down to just a few of those spikes now. Warrior slots in. We are about halfway back down the track. Black Destroyer takes a shot at Warrior, but it is wise to it and gets out of there. No More Mr. Nice Guy with the undercut on Black Destroyer, and Black Destroyer gets caught on one of the cars from Hellride in a sideways position, and the Spotted Otters are in trouble. No More Mr. Nice Guy not allowing the undercut. The ramp is set up and immediately taken down. No More Mr. Nice Guy forced off the track after that. What a recovery. That huge vehicle rolls right over and will survive the round. Only 1 elimination and a lot of action. Taking a look at the aftermath, Spotted Otter Speedsters fall to just 1. They are in the most danger along with Cookies Crumblers. If one of those teams gets eliminated, this is over. Round 6, here we go. Channel 6 will start us off for the Scrap Iron Scarecrows. Convoy next up, sending down Old Growth Hauler, hoping to get some more action with that ramp. And there is the action they wanted. Mad Goose spins several times, barrel rolls into the wall, and bad luck for Goon Squad. Mad Goose is toast. Great recovery by Warrior right there. Here comes Plunger. It plunges into the track buffer upside down. This could be it. Cookies Crumblers are crumbling. Blue Screw with some great agility there, survives that ramp, keeps Otter in the match. And there is Supply Run with a particularly fierce smash into the ramp, but can't do anything. Hellride next up. Hellride flips off the track. Hellride has self-eliminated. Supply Run and the line were too tight, and Hellride has forced itself over and out. A loss for Convoy. And wait a minute, How did Plunger recover? The camera was just not quite wide enough to catch what happened, but it looks like the impact of Hellride was enough to push Plunger back over to a recovery and save Cookie's Crumblers. Just to add to the chaos, now there is a random event. It's a rock slide pouring down where Hellride went off the track. So this is going to be interesting. The stones rain down upon Hellride, and the next hit will be No More Mr. Nice Guy. Kaboom! No More Mr. Nice Guy sends the rocks flying, and the back end of Hellride recovers, but that is not going to do them any good. Convoy and Goon Squad both at 1 and on the precipice. Nova Blast slams into Twisted Perception, who just locked in, pushes the line farther forward, but does no more damage. And that will end round 7. 2 more eliminations. They were both from teams that could afford it. Although really, can you afford any eliminations? Especially at this point in the match. Now both those teams are down to 1 and in the danger zone. Scrap Iron Scarecrow still have 3. They have regained the lead and solidified it. We head into round 8 with 4 teams at just 1 vehicle. Scrap Iron Scarecrows look solid right now. And don't forget to Smile has 2 remaining. They are in pretty good shape unless they have a very bad round. Plunder smashes into Warrior, pushes it up a little bit, and now it's time for the random event sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. It is Cookie's Whims level 2. It will be a barrel weld. Plunger gets a barrel welded to the back of the toilet bowl. No More Mr. Nice Guy smashes into the line, and we've got a little cluster forming. It goes badly for Don't Forget to Smile. Warrior is pushed over sideways. Plunger again in trouble. Old Growth set up for the convoy. Blue Screw struggles with Old Growth and lands in a very strange, almost impossible sideways situation. It is out. Spotted Outer Speedsters have been eliminated. Plunger heaved over the top of Warrior. Makes a recovery. Did the barrel help? It's tough to say, but the end result is Cookie's Crumblers are gonna make it. And now after a wild twist around, Twisted Perception survives. And Don't Forget to Smile are safe. Nova Blast with a huge heave into Supply Run, and the whole bottom of that car is now loose and coming off. That thing is going to need some serious repairs before the finals. Speaking of the finals, it looks like that is going to do it, and we are good to go for the finals. We've got our 10 teams. Who are they going to be? 2 eliminations in this round. Let's find out who it's going to be. Don't Forget to Smile fell down to 1, but survived the round, and that was all important. Spotted Outer Speedsters, just a really unusual landing, and Blue Screw was eliminated. They will fall. 4th ranked team is out. The Goon Squad held on, the Convoy held on, and Cookie's Crumblers, against all odds, held on. They were the 20th ranked team. There's your point tallies. They won't be needed since there were no ties. And now we've got all 10 of our finalists for the Apocalypse Joust. And what a joust that will be. In that joust, we will go from 10 teams to 1 and declare a champion. I can't wait to see what happens in the finals. But right now, we all got to take cover. Congrats to all 10 of the finalists. Thank you, everyone, for participating in the Apocalypse Joust. I'm going to be building a new track soon. Please become a patron now and help me make that happen. Thank you to all my patrons. We'll see you in the finals.